open up your page right now, before I say anything else, and go to your top spenders list. Count how many fans make up the majority of your monthly income. Not subs, income. The actual money in your pocket, because I already know what you are about to find, and it's going to make you uncomfortable. Somewhere between 15 and 30 fans are responsible for the vast majority of what you earn every month, out of hundreds, maybe thousands of subscribers. A tiny handful of people are keeping your entire business alive. And the question I want to ask you is, do you even know their names? Because if you do not, if those fans are getting the same mass messages and the same generic PPV messages as every other subscriber, you are sleepwalking into a disaster. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly why. Quick bit about me. I run Prestige Partners. We have worked with creators doing anywhere from 5k a month up to over 250k a month. And one of the first things I do when a new creator comes to us is I look at their revenue breakdown by fan. Every single time, without exception, the numbers tell the same story. A tiny group of fans, usually less than 1% of the total subscriber count, is generating somewhere between 30 and 50% of the entire page's revenue, sometimes more. I have seen pages where literally 20 fans out of 3,000 are responsible for half the income. This video is for you if you have never sat down and properly mapped out who those fans are on your page, what they have spent, and whether anyone is actually looking after them. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how concentrated your income is, exactly why losing one whale is worse than you losing 50 casual subs at this point, and exactly what to do about it. And to make this concrete, I'm going to put one specific bit of maths in front of you about what happens when 3 of your best fans quietly stop spending. And once you see it, you will never think about retention the same way again. I will get to it in just a minute. So how concentration actually works on your page. Let me put the structure into perspective for you, because I think the maths needs to land properly. Whatever you are earning right now, let us say it is 15k a month, and let us say your top 20 fans are responsible for 40% of that. That is $6,000 from 20 people, 20 humans out of however many subscribers you have on your page, paying 40% of your bills. That is the actual structure of your business. So whether you have looked at it or not, and it is more extreme than you think. So the Pareto principle in most industries is roughly 80-20. In creator businesses, on OnlyFans, it is close to 95 to 5. 5% of your fans are funding 50% of your life, and that ratio gets more extreme the higher you climb. And the biggest creators in this space, when you look at their fan economy, often have just a few dozen fans responsible for most of their monthly revenue. And the rest of the subscriber count is essentially decoration. The whales are ultimately the business, and everything else is volume around them, right? Now, the first question I always ask creators when I show them this on a call is, do you know who these people are? And almost always the answer is no. They might know one or two, the guy who always tips big, the guy who buys every custom, but the full picture, the complete list of the 20 or 30 humans who are actually paying for their rent, their car, their lifestyle, their entire existence in this industry, they have never sat down and mapped it out. They do not know the names. They do not know the spending patterns. They do not know when these fans even join the page. They do not know what content they like. They do not know if they are still active or if they have started to go quiet. They do not know anything about the people who matter most to their business. And that is genuinely terrifying when you think about it, because every single business decision they are making is being made without knowing who their actual customers are. So why whales become whales and how the maths bites here. Here is the maths I promised you, because I want this to land properly. Let us go back to that 15k month example with the top 20 fans worth $6,000. Now imagine 3 of those fans quietly leave over the next 2 months. They do not make a fuss, they do not complain, they just stop spending. Maybe they get bored, maybe they feel like the connection is not there anymore, maybe they found another creator. Now whatever the reason, they are gone. And those 3 fans were spending on average $500 each per month, let's say. That is $1,500 a month gone, permanently, from just 3 people leaving. Now think about how hard you would have to work to replace that $1,500 to new subscribers. You would need to bring in dozens, maybe hundreds of new fans just to make up what 3 people were spending. And those new fans will not spend $500 a month necessarily straight away. They might, it's unlikely though. Now, new fans spend an average of maybe $20 or $30 in their first month. Most spend nothing at all. So you would need a massive influx of new traffic just to plug the gap that 3 quiet departures created. And meanwhile, you did not even notice they left until the end of the month when you looked at the numbers and went, what happened? That is the danger. Losing whales does not feel like losing whales. It feels like, oh, I've had a quiet month. It feels like the algorithm might have changed. It feels like everything got a bit harder all of a sudden. But the reason is almost always the same. Your best fan slipped away and nobody was watching closely enough to catch it. And here is the thing that most creators never realise. The majority of your whales did not start as whales. They started as normal subscribers. They spent a bit here and there, they engaged with your content, and they built a connection with you, or with the version of you they were talking to in the DMs. And slowly, over weeks and months, that connection deepened, and therefore their spending increased. And they went from a casual subscriber to a regular spender to a whale. Now that journey did not happen by accident. It happened because something about the experience in which they were having on your page made them want to keep coming back and keep spending more. Which means the relationship between you and your whale is not a transaction. It is a long-term investment that was built over months of consistent, personal, attentive communication. And that investment is incredibly fragile because the whale does not just love your content, he loves the experience of feeling connected to you. He loves feeling like he matters. He loves feeling like he's not just another subscriber. Now the moment that feeling cracks, the spending starts to slow. Now here is what I really want you to hold on to for the next 2 minutes. There is one analogy from any other industry that exposes how completely insane the current treatment of whales is in this space, right? You would never accept it in any other business. Not for a second. I will get into that at the end of the video because the next bit makes it land properly. Now the restaurant analogy, okay? Here is what genuinely upsets me about this, and I see it constantly. Creators are out there spending hours and hours every week trying to bring in new fans. They are filming reels, posting on 5 platforms, running promos, doing everything they can to get new subscribers through the door. Meanwhile, the fans who are actually paying their bills, the fans who have already proven they are willing to spend hundreds of dollars a month, are being completely neglected. And they are getting the same mass message that every other subscriber gets. They are being chatted to by the same chatter who is juggling 30 other conversations and does not even know this fan spent $2,000 last month. They are being treated like row 47 on a spreadsheet instead of what they actually are, which is the most important people in the entire business. Now here is the analogy I promised you. Think about any other industry for a second. Let's say you ran a restaurant and one customer came in every week and spent 500 quid on dinner. Would you treat him the same as the bloke who comes in once a year for a coffee? Obviously not. You would know his name. You would know his favorite table. You would know what wine he drinks. You would greet him at the door. You would send him something possibly on his birthday. You would make him feel like a VIP because he's a VIP. And if you did not treat him like one, he would go down the road to the next restaurant that would treat him like that. Now imagine telling the manager of that restaurant, hey, just put him on the same email list as everyone else, Send him generic newsletters. Do not bother greeting him. Treat him exactly the same as the guy who came in once for a coffee. Now, the manager would think you had lost your mind. He would never agree to it because in any other industry, the idea of treating your highest paying customer the same as your lowest paying customer is recognized as commercial suicide. And in OnlyFans, it is the standard and nobody is questioning it. Your whales are your VIP customers. And if you're not treating them like VIPs, someone else will. So let me say this as clearly as possible. One whale that you keep is worth more than 100 new subscribers that you acquire every single time because the whale has already proven his spending behavior. He has already invested emotionally. He has already been through the hard part. All you have to do is maintain the connection and keep giving him the experience he signed up for. That costs almost nothing compared to the time, energy and money it takes to bring 100 new subscribers through the door, most of whom will never spend a penny. And yet, most creators are spending 90% of their effort on acquisition and 10% on retention. The maths makes it obvious that the ratio should be reversed, but the standard in this industry has not caught up to the maths, which means if you flip the ratio on your own page right now, you'll be playing a completely different game from almost every creator which you are competing with. So here's what I want you to do this week. Tonight, before you sleep, make a whale list. Go into your analytics, pull up your top 20 spenders from the last 90 days and write them down. Their username, how much they have spent, when they last spent, what they have bought. This is the most important document in your entire business because this list is your business. Then look at the trend for each one. Anyone whose spending has dropped in the last 30 days needs personal attention from you today before they slide further. And finally, send a personal voice note to your top 5 fans this week. From you, not your chatters, you. Do not sell them anything, do not push a PPV, just acknowledge them. Reference something specific about them if you can as well, and make them feel like the most important person on your page. Then watch what happens to their spending over the next few weeks. It will surprise you. Now look, my life's not going to change whether you decide to book a call with my team or not. but yours could. And if you've just looked at your top spenders list and realised nobody's been watching over the fans who actually pay your bills, and you want to talk to someone who genuinely understands how to protect and grow those relationships, the link to book a call is in the description. No pressure, just a real conversation about what is happening with your best fans and what we would actually do to make sure they stay. That is it. Now, I hope you drew some value from this. If you did, drop a like and a subscribe. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.